Hey, I'm Barry McKnight here at the Field House at Troy University. Welcome to the Trojan Talk podcast. One of the OGs, one of my favorites, Adam Godwin. Adam, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Doing great. Excited about today and the opportunity to hang out with you.
Now, for the last several years, I've called you Coach Godwin and everything like that. You and I have talked before about this. You and I have spent a lot of time together on buses and all of that, representing Troy and working with young people. You've got a new role now. Let us know about it and the path towards it.
Yeah. First, we've definitely logged the most miles, I think, on those buses over there. First of all, I think I want to start by thanking Skylar Meade. Obviously, the run that we had at baseball and here recently making this transition over. It all starts with Coach Meade and what we were able to do there. So grateful for that opportunity, that staff, those players. But yeah, baseball's been a big part of my life, and this all started in a small room in a conversation with our athletic director. And I'm attracted to people with big dreams. And he presented one of those, and we discussed an opportunity, if it ever came up, possibly doing a little something different, just chasing a different style win. And one conversation led to about five, and the vision there that he set forward for our developmental team down here and the T Club and an amazing university that we all love was just something that was kind of right time, right place. Coming home from Omaha, and then just where my family's at currently.
The position itself is Executive Director of Development and Letter Winner Engagement. The story I've got about you, obviously you're going to be connecting with a lot of the Troy fans, or you're already connected with a lot of the Troy letter winners. You can look back on this podcast history. Adam and I did a podcast a year or two ago that also included Clint Robinson.
Yeah.
And it's funny because you guys played together a long time ago, but you guys just took to it, checked in with each other, and it was that connection that you've got with your background and your success as an athlete at Troy. You still keep a lot of those connections, right? Once a Trojan, always a Trojan. Am I right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, there's almost an athletic, whether it's guys or girls, there's a brotherhood or a sisterhood that comes with that. It's just like being on campus and being in a fraternity. You work so hard to represent the university, and you feel this immense pride, for how it built you and what it's been able to do to springboard careers. One, you appreciate the people the most, but then it's coaches, it's facilities and all that stuff. And then you get to a point in your life where you're 43 and married with 2 kids, and you live in the community and you've coached here. It's how can I be the hands and feet? How can I serve? How can I be a part of something bigger than myself? And that's what the title's long, and who knows, whatever it is, but it's a communicator, it's a connector, and still coach underneath a little bit, but it's just begins and ends with people.
It occurs to me, Adam, that what you have always done is one of the main facets of what you're going to do now. Pour into other people, communicate your regard for this university and its people, and help them and the school to get better. There's a lot of commonalities in what you have done and what you're hoping to do in this role.
Yeah, I would strongly agree, and I think that's come up in all our conversations. It's really no different than recruiting. We talk about the recruiting process, and whether you were at Lake Point watching a baseball game, you're still talking to parents, you're talking to coaches, you're talking, there's an endless list of just communication and connection. So that's at the forefront, that's at the core of it. It's one of the things that I hang my hat on, being relationally driven, and so here we are.
You mentioned that this began with a conversation in a room with Kyle George. Your Troy experience began a lot further back than that. Coach Pierce, and can you kind of go back to where I didn't realize a lot of this, but the Godwins are with Troy a long time ago.
Yeah, so, and I even, when I committed to Troy, and that was under Coach Pierce and Coach Smart, you talk about the OGs and the GOATs of some of the baseball program and stuff. I even had to learn the history of my parents. My dad coached football here, and it's how he met my mom, who was a majorette at the time and also in a sorority. So I started learning the history of that, and being right down the road in Enterprise, you obviously knew of Troy, and so that's where it all started. And then I spent, as a JUCO bandit, and then I come here and have two of the best years of my life under, like I said, Coach Pearson, Coach Smart, the OGs, and it had a successful team, had great teammates, and had great community support, and went on to pro ball, but always kept in mind what built me in the DNA behind what I was about, and always attracted me back, and so that's kind of how it started.
It's a great story, and one of the most unique and long-lasting resumes of any Trojan. I said in social media, I don't know many people more Troy than Adam Godwin, right? And you communicate that to everybody. Obviously, you are trying to present a vision to people. I'm wondering if you can, as you communicate that vision, what do you sell most? What do you communicate most about Troy University?
Well, and I think it starts with what was the golden rule in coaching. Players don't care how much you know until they know you care. I think that's something that I craved as a human being. I think beneath every jersey or helmet or uniform is a heartbeat and a mind and the human aspect. So I think it's just going to begin with connection and care. I mean, at the forefront, obviously this university runs on some great pillars of tradition and what we stand for. But I think I'm going to bring that to the table every day. I'm going to call people, connect, and this isn't about money and different things, and some might say it is or whatnot, and there's great things to build here and build upon, but it's more of just letting you know that we care about you. We want you to come back. We have a great developmental team. The vision is there. It's unique, but it's going to take time to not only learn it, but just continue to build upon it. And so we're in the beginning stages of that, learning everything, asking a lot of questions, and just seeing who and how we all make this better, and it's a collective.
I'm going to ask this question leading into another question. You are stepping into a role with Troy Athletics at a pinnacle. Nobody would ever forgive me if I got in front of a camera and on a microphone with Adam Godwin and didn't ask him about the experience of April, May, June in the college baseball season ending up in Omaha.
Yeah, it was an epic ride. It starts with those players. They made it happen. It starts with our captain. I still speak like I'm on the staff, but Coach Meade, it was an interesting season. We were battling to just figure it out and get in sync. And I tell you what, Coach Meade, every day towards the end of that thing, got in front of our players and said, we're going to play our best ball at the end. We're going to play our best ball in May. And those guys, I think we all believed in it, and some confidence started rolling, and one thing led to the next. And it was just such a special time for not only my family, that 3-week period, that run. You dream of that. That's obviously the goal getting in, is not just going to Omaha, but winning it. But to experience that for this community, for the university, it meant so much. It's something that I think about daily, and now it's time to repeat it and do it again. But there's so many pieces and people that made that happen, and those players deserve that. They earned it, and they worked for it every day. That coaching staff, poured into them, and we were able to experience it. So very grateful.
This is what I wanted to lead into. Now you're in this role, helping to support and improve Troy Athletics with development and with letter winner engagement. As you sit right now here, right in the middle of the Troy Athletics complex, gosh, things are going well for Troy Athletics, are they not? I mean, you've got plenty to represent in a positive manner. Seems like it's pretty easy these days to let everybody know of all the good news happening with Troy Athletics. Absolutely.
I think, some people see this time and the landscape of recruiting or college athletics it can be messy. It's choosing to look through a lens of the perspective that it's also great. We're growing in every facet, in every way. We're communicating. We're trying to learn how to grow. I think we're at the pinnacle of our history and strong backbone that built Troy, from Troy State to Troy University. There's so many legendary coaches and players and alumni to thank for that. I think it's just going to be a nice blend. I get to be the one that kind of, honors the past. We get to kind of own what's in front of us and then builds the future. So.
Final thing I've got with you, and it's wonderful to get a chance to visit with you. Your wife Kelly mentioned this on social media the other day in response. to the mom of one of your players and what you meant, Luke Lyon, and you know, of course, Kate and all the, you know, talking about what an impact you made just on that young man. And Kelly, your wife said that's something that Adam and we have always believed in, is it's all about people, it's all about relationships.
Yeah.
You can kind of clutch up while reading something like that, Adam.
Well, you know, I'll first say this, and I think it's one of the things that in my heart honestly led to choosing this decision and taking, you know, running with this opportunity. It starts in my own home. You know, while I was coaching, and you know, as a coach, you accept you're going to miss some things. I missed my daughter's dancing, 10 years old, danced for the national championship. My son's first T-ball season, was unable to see a practice, see a game, and so it started in my own home, and I had to practice what I was going to preach, and I'm just in a new season of life with that. And yeah, my wife on social media, hate her to love it. Sometimes it continues to come back, circle back to people, you know, chasing hearts instead of chasing wins. The wins will come, but it all begins with the players and the special student athletes that we have here and have had here.
Known this guy for almost 30 years, and he's been intentional in everything he's done. It's always been about other people. So excited about this new role. Very happy to have you with us. Thanks a bunch.
Well, thanks again. And you know, last thing I'm going to say is how special you've been to the university, and you know, you and Mr. Jerry and the voice that I've heard, and you know, respect so much on a baseball side, but a football, I know there's many fans out there that feel the same way. Thank you.
Go Trojans.
Go Trojans. Yeah.